What's up guys, Drago here, and today I'm going to be covering a guide on how to play Karin in Street Fighter V Champion Edition. Let's look at a brief overview of the character first. Karin is a rushdown style character that excels in the footsies game. Her main goal is to find an opening on the opponent to pressure and deal massive amounts of damage. Her biggest strengths are her pressure, damage output, Okizeme, and solid normals in the neutral to help close the gap and whiff punish her opponent. Her main weaknesses are her low health, mediocre anti-airs and V-triggers, and trouble getting in on zoners. She has some tight execution on some of her optimal combos that can be difficult for beginners, as well as needing great reaction times at higher levels of play. Now let's break this character down from the basics, starting with movement. She has great block speed, allowing her to control the ground with her pokes and whiff punishes. She has a fast 16 frame forward dash, allowing her to close the gap quickly, as well as a fast back dash to help her deal with defensive situations. It's especially useful against grapplers since it's throw invulnerable. Crouching heavy punches are best normal for anti-airing. Avoid being in the cross-up range as it can easily be jumped over. Crouching heavy punch also has a chance to crush counter if you land a hit on the first active frame, allowing you to follow up for a juggle. You can also mix in your command dash to cross under the opponent for a mix-up. Standing medium kick is a long-reaching normal and is great for pokes and checking the opponent from walking in. Crouching medium kick is her best poke for when you're in closer range. You can catch people with it if they're standing and walking. It has a long cancel window, so you'll be able to hit confirm into her just frame Tenko to start her bread and butter combo. Her crouching heavy kick can be useful for a poke or whiff punish at a farther range, but be careful since it's not safe on block. Try to stay at max range, and if you want to make it safe, you can cancel in the V trigger when you have the meter. Standing heavy kick is her main crush counter tool, allowing her to convert into a combo and deal more damage. Throwing it too close is unsafe on block and you'll be punished from it, unless you have the meter to cancel into a V-trigger. It can also be used as a punish for wake-up invincible moves like EX Shoryuken. Due to the scaling from the crush counter though, you won't get optimal damage from it. Crouching medium punch is her main combo starter. It can be linked into either standing medium punch or crouching medium kick. These are her standard combo routes. It can also link into standing heavy punch or crouching heavy punch on counter hit. Standing light kick is her main pressure tool when close up. You'll be at a frame advantage of +2 on block, allowing you to either mix up with her standard combo route for a frame trap or a tick throw. Crouching light punch is a 3-frame normal and can cancel into just frame Tenko. This is best used to interrupt your opponent's pressure if they're trying to either steal a turn or mistime their meaty. Standing heavy punch is great for poking at closer range. It's good at stuffing out normals and can also be used for whiff punishing normals and converting into a combo. Standing medium punch is a good normal for whiff punishing at closer ranges. She slightly moves forward during the move, helping her close the gap and convert into a combo. Jumping light punch and jumping medium punch heavy punch target combo are both good air-to-air options. This can be used as a good option to stop the opponent from jumping in at the cross-up range. Jumping light kick and jumping medium kick both have cross-up properties. Moving on to specials, we're going to start off with her command dash. She simply dashes forward and the distance of the dash depends on the strength of the button. It's best used to cancel your anti-air to cross under your opponent for a mix-up and to continue your pressure. EX dash is used primarily to get through fireballs or if you need to quickly close a large gap. Her command dash has 2 follow-ups, her Tenko and shoulder. Starting with Tenko, this is her launcher special, allowing her to do her standard bread and butter combos. If you time the Tenko within the first 3 frames of her command dash, you'll get a just frame Tenko. The active frames come out faster, launches the opponent higher, and it deals a little more damage on top of it. The best way to tell if you landed a just frame Tenko is by listening to Karin's yells. It is vital to master this technique because her light normals can only combo into just frame Tenko. Crouching medium kick combos consistently if you cancel into just frame Tenko. Both timings are -10 on block, making it very punishable. EX Tenko, like EX Dash, can be used to go through fireballs. It's also used as a combo extender, allowing her to optimize her damage. Orochi, also known as Shoulder, is her other follow-up off of Command Dash. This deals the most amount of damage for ending her bread and butter combos. You can also use this as part of a block string to end your pressure as it's only -2 on block, making it safe. EX Shoulder will put the opponent in a crumple state, allowing you to extend your combo. Her Senna is a special move that can hit a standing opponent twice, with the second hit counting as an overhead, as well as 2 follow-up options. The down kick option ends the combo in a knockdown. The up kick option grabs a standing opponent and puts them in a knockdown. This special and its follow-ups are not recommended against crouching or blocking opponents as they can easily interrupt you. Since it only connects on standing opponents, it's best used to punish a whipped throw or after a crush counter standing heavy kick since that will force standing, as well as giving you good Okizeme after the knockdown. The heavy version has invulnerability to fireballs, but be careful as it has a long startup before it becomes active. The EX version is used for extra combo damage and it's also her best anti-air due to the invincibility on startup. Be careful in close ranges as you can whiff on a cross-up. To fix this, you can autocorrect by holding forward and pressing punch after the motion. While it's her best anti-air, it still requires meter to use, so use it sparingly. Onto her next special, Mujin. Her light version is best used as a combo extender. You can also use this to end her meterless bread and butter combos instead of shoulder if you're having trouble with the execution timing. The medium version is a gimmick that follows up with an overhead. It can be easily interrupted on the ground. It can work as a juggle if you land a crush counter or crouching heavy punch due to the properties from the crush counter. The heavy version is best used as ending combos on the ground. It can also juggle after a crush counter or crouching heavy punch. EX version has the highest stun output for ending her combos, as well as better corner carry. V-Skill 1 is her best tool in neutral. It allows her to close the distance, and while holding it will make it -2 on block. The tap version can be useful to whiff punish. Just don't end up too close to the opponent to where you can be punished since it's -5 on block. It can also cancel out a fireball, but not nearly as reliable as EX Dash. It can also be used to end her bread and butter combo to help build V-meter. V-Skill 2 is more of a pressure tool, allowing her to frame trap her combos. Like V-Skill 1, you can hold it for more plus frames on block. Tapping it will have faster startup but be safe on block. On counter hit, she'll get a crush counter. Tapped will launch the opponent, while holding it will put them in a crumple state. This move is most useful when you're in the corner as it'll give you stronger Okizeme options. It can also cancel out fireballs. However, I don't think this V-Skill is viable. Not only does she already have good pressure, but she would be sacrificing V-Skill 1, one of her best neutral tools. V-Trigger 1 unlocks her Rekka moveset, allowing her to do new combos as well as mix up the opponent. Most of her attack strings from this V-Trigger is best used to replace her bread and butter combos. Here are some examples. She has a few strings that allow for mix-ups, her overhead, elbow, and throw follow-ups. However, most of her strings can be easily interrupted with either a light button or an invincible move. In order to use these mix-ups, you need to condition your opponent to not push buttons. To do this, you can bait the opponent with a Rekka cancel option and then go for a punish. Once you've conditioned the opponent, then try going for mix-ups. Her punch follow-up works like a frame trap that the opponent likes to interrupt with light buttons. This is high risk though, since it's punishable on block. Using her Rekka cancel will eat up a lot of her V meter. All of her other strings only have a one-time cost of 28%, with her Rekka cancel is an additional 28%. This gives you one, maybe two opportunities to use a string. This V trigger works more like a complement to her footsies game as opposed to a comeback mechanic like most in the game. V-Trigger 2 gives her a counter stance. She has two counters, a low and a mid counter. Any counter from a mid normal will launch the opponent. This launcher has similar juggle properties to her crush counter, crouching heavy punch, so she can extend her combos a little bit more. For crouching normals, the counter will put the opponent into a staggering state. V-Trigger 2 can be helpful with specific matchups like a rushdown character or an aggressive player, but I would still recommend V-Trigger 1 overall. Her V-meter is best spent for defensive purposes for when you need to escape pressure. Don't be afraid to use a V-reversal or a V-shift and V-break. It's better to have those options in case you need to reset the neutral. Don't always save it for V-trigger. If your opponent is close to losing their health or you have an advantage, going for V-trigger can be a better option. Now that we have all her basics covered, let's take a look at her main combos, then we'll go over her game plan. Focus near the dash and range and work with your main poking tools, standing medium kick to keep the opponent from walking in and closing the gap with their V skill 1, whiff punishing and poking with standing heavy punch and standing medium punch, and as well as hit confirming with their crouching medium kick, also looking for the opponent to jump in and anti-airing with crouching heavy punch. Being able to whiff punish the opponent is very important. You need to be able to whiff punish on reaction with their closer range normals. The best way to practice whiff punishing is to go into training mode and set the dummy to jump and throw out a normal move. The jump is used as a visual cue to help you react on time. If the opponent becomes hesitant in pressing buttons at the dash in range, this gives you an opportunity to dash in and continue your pressure. Being able to hit confirm or crouching medium kick can greatly help your neutral game. To practice this, go into training mode and set the dummy to random block and continue pressing crouching medium kick. Once you see a hit connect, then you can cancel into or adjust frame tempo. You can also use the stun or health bar as an indicator of when the hit connects. Whiff punishing and hit confirming are necessary to your game plan at higher levels of play if you want to do well with her. Karin has straightforward offense. Your main pressure tool is standing light kick. You can follow up with a tick throw or continue pressure with standing light kick or a standard combo route. This puts your opponent in a guessing situation to where they have to tech the throw, continue blocking, or challenge with a normal. Once you land a counter hit, you can continue on with their bread and butter combo. If the opponent is close to stun, using her overhead is a good way to catch an opponent off guard. If you're in a situation where the opponent is delay teching, meaning they block and tech the throw at the same time, start utilizing shimmy. By walking forward and then quickly walking back, you are baiting the opponent to whiff a throw and open them up to a combo. If you run into a defensive opponent that likes to check you on your walk-in, try taking a step back and look for an opportunity to whiff punish. You can also delay your frame traps to throw off an overly defensive opponent's timing. This is all dependent on the type of player you're facing. Once you've opened the opponent up and are damaging them with your combo, you now have the opportunity for Okizeme setups. This means you're at a frame advantage as your opponent is still in wake up animation. Here are some Oki setups you can use. Karin has low health, so she can't afford to be constantly opened up. It's best to not panic and be patient when you're under pressure. Simply blocking creates pushback. Remember, you can use your V meter to use either a V reversal, V shift, or V break in order to reset the neutral and get yourself out of a pressure situation. Backdashing can come in handy when you're dealing with grapplers or opponents that abuse throws. Just be careful not to be predictable with it since you're in a counter hit state when using it. Being hit from a normal counter can be useful since you can reset the situation, but if the opponent's looking for it, they can crush counter you. If you have the meter, it's safer to go with V-shift since it can cover both throws and meaties. Another way to deal with mix-ups is to change up your wake-up timing to throw off the opponent's meaty timing. Since Karin has low health, you have to be very careful against grappler types like Zangief and Abigail. Once they get in on you and you end up gassing around a couple times, it could cost you the whole round. Also, making just one mistake can cost you the whole round as well. When dealing with grapplers, it's better to play a bit more defensively by not letting them in on you and playing right outside their range for whiff punishes. She can also struggle against characters like Birdie, where he can get through her normals either with his armor moves or V-trigger too. It's best to save V-meter so that you can have a way to counter his V-trigger when he has it active. She can also struggle against zoners like Dhalsim and Poison. You have to play a very patient game against these characters and wait for an opening to close in on, or an execution error and punish. Once you're in on a zoner, you don't want them to escape your pressure, otherwise you'll have to be patient and wait for another opening. Getting impatient will only make it easier for them and keep you out. Her crouching heavy punch and standing heavy punch anti-airs can have interactions where it either trades or loses to certain jump in ranges, especially in the cross-up range. While Light Mugen is an easier alternative to shoulder for ending her bread and butter combos, there can be inconsistencies at farther ranges. If you do find yourself having these inconsistencies, then replace it with V-Skill 1. She can also have trouble converting into a Just Range Tenko at max range with punishes. For max range whiff punishes, you can use EX Tenko to make it consistent if you have the meter. While her V-triggers are mediocre compared to the rest of the cast, her strong footsies more than make up for it. Even after the recent Hurtbox nerfs on her main normals for neutral, I still think she is a very strong character in the right hands. That about covers everything. I hope this guide is helpful for anyone that's looking to improve with Karin. Thanks for watching.